There are over 600 types of neurological conditions that include multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, Guillain Barre Syndrome, dementia, cerebral palsy, brain injury, or a spinal cord injury. So in this video, I'm going to provide 9 exercises to help sufferers with their balance, strength, and mobility. Hi everyone, and welcome to Exercise for Health. I'm Richard, and today I have a rehabilitation routine to help those living with a neurological condition. If you're new to this channel, we offer tips, advice, and exercises each week to help you manage your health condition with physical activity. So go ahead and tap the subscribe button below and the bell icon if you want to be notified of when we upload a new video. As we will be challenging your abilities during this routine in an attempt to improve them, please ensure you only conduct the exercises that you feel you can manage safely without any risk. Every neurological condition is different and each one affects everyone differently, so being conservative initially is the best tip I can give you. There are 9 exercises in this routine, and you will need a chair to sit on that's not too low, a mat for the floor exercises and maybe a cushion as well for comfort, a ball for a standing balance exercise, and a walking stick or short pole of some sort. If you get lost at any point during the video, please feel free to pause it or rewind it back, but I will try to be as clear and concise as possible to help you follow along. We will begin sat down, so get what you need and let's get started. Right, the first one we're going to do is a seated arm reach, and we're going to be working in 3 directions. So for this, you need to be sat on your chair but without using the backrest for this, because it allows you then for a little bit of freedom and movement. And this is a great exercise to work on coordination, to get the brain working a little bit, and also to help you with your core stability, so your balance of your upper body. So first of all, get your feet about a shoulder width wide flat on the floor to provide you with a good base of support. Sit yourself up straight and then rest your hands on your knees. So we're going to start with one arm. I want you to lift it up and just gently reach forwards with it as far as you possibly can. And then when you can't go any further, just pause for a split second, bring it back. And then with the same hand, we're then going to take it out to the side. So on the same side as the arm, reach out as far as you can, lean in slightly if you can, but keeping control. Bringing it back, and then again, same hand, this time we're going to go the opposite way. So we're going to twist and reach across, again, as far as you can without losing control, and then bring it back. So you've got the hand back on the knee. Right, let's try that with the other arm. So lifting the hand up and reaching forwards first. So reach forwards as far as you can, and then bring it back. Then we're going to go out to the side. So again, same side as the arm, reach out, leaning in as far as you can, and then bring it back. And then we're going to go across the body this time. So twisting, taking the arm across, reach as far as you can, and then bring it back. Right, we're going to do that one more time through on each arm. So go back to the first arm again, reaching out in front. So lean in, see if you can go a little bit further this time, and then bring it back. And then same hand out to the side. So reach and lean, again, don't compromise your balance. And then bring it back, and then twisting across. So go as far as you possibly can as you lean into it, and then bring it back. Good, and let's go back to the opposite arm. So first of all, reaching forwards. Again, see if this time you can go a little bit further than before. Bringing it back, and then going out to the side. Reach as far as you can go. Good, bring it back, and then we're going to twist it across. So take it across the body, lean in as far as you can go, and then bring it back to the middle. Good, well done. Let's go on to the next one. Right, the next exercise we're going to do is partial sit to stands. So this basically means we're going to start from a seated position, but we're not going to stand up fully. We're just going to lift your hips up off the chair and just hover there for a couple of seconds before you lower yourself back down. Now, if your condition actually affects one side of the body, in the sense that you've got a slightly weaker leg and a stronger leg, then what I want you to do is I want you to stagger your feet before you start this exercise. That means that the foot of the weaker leg, I want you to slide it back slightly closer to your chair, just a couple of inches. And then the foot of the stronger leg, I want you to slide it forward just a couple of inches. So this will place a little bit more emphasis then on the weaker leg when you start to lift your hips off the chair. Make sure you've still got your feet a shoulder width wide as well anyway, but start off with, you're going to sit yourself up tall and then just gently lean the body forwards, and that should start to feel like you're putting your weight through your feet. And then from there, I want you to see if you can lift your bottom up off the chair just slightly and hover there for a couple of seconds, and then lower your bottom controlled back down till you're back in your chair again. So we're not coming up completely. Let's try that again. So we're going to lean the body forwards, feel the weight go through the feet, start pushing the feet in the floor, lift the hips and the bottom up away from the chair just slightly, and then slowly control your descent back down till you're back to a seated position. Right, we'll try 3 more of those. So again, make sure your feet haven't moved while you're doing this. So lean the body forwards, feel the weight through the feet, and then push. Keep going forwards, lift the hips up a little bit, hold, and then slowly lower back down. So you should start to feel this a little bit in the legs here on the front of the thighs. One of the common issues with doing this exercise is your confidence to actually make sure you're leaning forwards enough to allow your hips and your bottom to lift up off the chair. So try and go forwards as much as you can. You'd be surprised how far forward you need to go before your hips actually lift. So let's do 2 more. Leaning the body forwards, feel the weight through the feet, push, keep leaning forwards, just hover. So your nose should be further over your toes, and then slowly back down. Controlled. 1 more. So leaning forwards, feel the weight through the feet, push the feet into the floor like you're trying to push the floor away from you, lifting the bottom up, and then slowly back down to a seated position. Good, well done. Right, let's move on to the next exercise, which is a standing one. Okay, the next exercise we're going to do carries the most risk out of all 9 exercises on this video, because it is working on your balance. So if you do have issues with your balance, take great care with this one, or if you need to, use this with a walking stick to hold on to, or near a wall, or hold on to an item of furniture or something just to help you with your balance, or if you think you might need it. So we're going to use a ball for this one. So I want the ball on the floor, and I'm going to keep all of my weight pretty much on the supportive leg, and I'm going to use the foot of my other leg to move the ball around my supportive leg foot. So I'm going to lift the foot up on top of the ball. Try and do this in a tall manner so you're not hunched over. So try and keep your hip forwards of the supported leg. And then from there, you're going to slowly use your foot to move the ball around the foot that's on the floor. So I'm taking it across carefully to the other side of the foot while trying to maintain my balance. Then I'm going to bring the ball back, just carefully rolling it around on the floor until I can bring it back by the side of my supported leg foot again. Okay, so we'll try that 1 more time if you want to. If you need to rest, obviously take a rest. If you need to put your other foot on the floor, that's okay. So I'm going to roll the ball around the foot to the opposite side, and then slowly bring it back until I've got it back to the inside of the foot again. Okay, good. If you manage to do that, try and do this on your other foot now. So same thing. So I'll start off supported leg foot flat on the floor, and then I've got the foot on the ball just on the inside of that foot. So I'm going to slowly move the ball, rolling it around, try and control the movement. See if you can get it to the outside of that supported leg foot, and then slowly roll it back again, bringing it around the foot, back to the side of the foot again. 1 more time if you can. So rolling it round. Keep control, keep that balance, and then slowly bring it back. I'm finding this a lot harder on this side, so you might find one side harder than the other, but that's perfectly normal. And then place the foot back on the floor. Brilliant, well done. Let's go on to the next one. Right, the next exercise we're going to do is a weight bearing exercise, but for the arm rather than the legs. So this is where you're going to need your walking stick or some sort of pole that you've got that you can put your weight through. So what I'm going to do is using the walking stick, just keeping it to the side of the body. Now it's important when you do this exercise that you don't actually allow the elbow to bend, and also you don't actually allow the shoulder to lift up. So we want to try and keep the shoulder down away from your ear. We also want to make sure that the arm stays straight. So if you do have some kind of support on the arm that's going to facilitate that, that's absolutely fine. You can use that as well to help, or you can just use your other hand to hold onto the elbow to stop it to bend, okay? So I'm going to start off with my feet shoulder width wide. I'm just going to have the walking stick or cane or pole or whatever you've got next to you. And I'm going to completely lock out my elbow joint first of all, and then keep my shoulder down. And I'm then going to start to lean my body into the stick. So it's like I'm trying to push the stick down more into the floor. I'm going to hold that for a couple of seconds, and then I'm going to release off. And I'm going to do the same again. So I'm going to put my weight through this arm as though I'm trying to push it down into the floor, but without letting the elbow bend and without letting the shoulder pop up. And then release off. And then same again. So just lean into it. Keep that arm locked out straight. Use your other hand if you need to keep it straight as you can. But you will feel some tension on the back of your arm while you do this one. Let's do a couple more and then we'll switch sides. So lean into it, keep the arm straight, keep the shoulder down. You'll feel the tension in the arm and in the shoulder. And then release off, and we'll do one more. So lean in, put the weight through that hand. So feel it going through the arm, a few seconds, and then release off. Good. Right, let's switch sides so we can do the same on the opposite arm. So same again, just have the arm out completely straight, so make sure the elbow stays locked. Remember, this shoulder doesn't want to pop up when you start putting your weight through it, so don't want to see this. You want to make sure that the shoulder stays down. So arm out straight first of all, and then when you're ready, start to lean in like you're trying to push the stick down more into the floor. Feel the tension on the back of your arm, and then release off. And then again, lean in towards it, put the weight through, feel the tension in the arm, and then release off. And again, lean in, feel that tension. So you just put as much weight into it as you feel that you need to, then ease off so it can activate those muscles. Just do a couple more. Lean into it, keep the elbow straight, shoulder down, and then release. One more. So lean in, hold, and release. Brilliant, good. Right, let's go on to the next one. We're now going to go down onto the floor. Right, the next exercise we're going to do is kneeling sit backs. So this is working on getting the hips to actually extend up at the top when we're in an upright position, so we can activate these muscles around the bottom. So think of it as like the second phase to the second exercise we did, where we're doing those partial sit to stands and we only came a little way off the chair. This is kind of like the second half of that, so we're finishing that extension. So I'm going to use a cushion here just purely for comfort on my knees, so you might want to use that as well on the floor. You want your knees and your feet to be the same width as your hips when you're in that kneeling position. And then starting off with the bottom close to the heels of the feet, what I want you to do from there is you're going to lift the bottom up and drive the hips up and forwards, and see if you can get into a complete upright position. So come right up forwards. So we're really trying to open up here across the front of the hips. So you might feel a little bit of a stretch at this point there if you've got some tight muscles. And then slowly let the hips bend back down as you lower the bottom down close to the heels of your feet, and then start the exercise again. So pushing into the floor, driving your hips up and forwards, get that extension at the top. You can engage in these muscles here, and then lower back down so you get the bottom close to the heels of your feet, and then start again. We're going to do 5 of these, so this is the third one. Again, all these should be done in a slow, controlled manner so you can keep control of the movement. Let's see if we can do 2 more. So pushing up, hips come forwards, engage those muscles around the bottom, feel a bit of a stretch here, then lower back down. Good. 1 more if you can. So push through, up nice and tall, straighten out the body, and then slowly control back down again. Excellent, well done. Right, we're going to flip over onto your back now to do a lying bridge exercise. Right, so the next exercise then is going to be lying on our backs. We're going to do a bridge exercise, and I've done this in a few of my other videos on this channel, but to be honest, it's a great exercise for anybody with any condition. So for neurological conditions, it's great because it activates a lot of the weak muscles, the ones that don't activate quite so much around the bottom. So similar to the last exercise, but this time we've got the feet flat on the floor because we're going to be pushing the feet in the floor to see if you can get your bottom to lift up. And we'll try and get your hips to come between your knees and your shoulders to create that bridge position before you lower the hips back down again. So we're going to try 5 of these. I've also got a cushion behind my head just for some comfort, but try and start off with your hands flat on the floor just by the side of your body, so they're out on a slight angle, palms facing down, feet are shoulder width wide, and then from there you're going to push the feet into the floor to lift the bottom up. See how high you can get the hips to go up. Try and make sure the pelvis is staying square to the floor so you're not pushing through on one side and allowing the hips to twist. And then hold it for a couple of seconds at the top, and then we'll slowly lower back down until the bottom's back on the floor. So we're going to do 4 more of those to make 5 in total. So push the feet into the floor, lift the hips up as high as you can, hold it for a split second at the top. You should feel these muscles here activate, and then lower back down. Good, 3 more. So push in, lift the hips up, keep it steady, keep the pelvis level and square to the floor, and then lower. 2 more. So pushing the feet in, lift the bottom up, see how high you can get the hips to go up, but you don't need to go any higher than the level between your knees and your shoulders, so creating that straight line at the top, and then lower back down. 1 more. So push into the floor, hips go up, feel those muscles work now on the back of the bottom, and then slowly lower back down. Good, well done. Right, let's go on to the next one. Right, the next exercise we're going to do is side lying side kicks. So on the floor, I've got my base arm just out straight to provide a bit of support. You should have literally one hip stacked on top of the other. And then this base leg, it's probably easier to keep it slightly bent just to provide a bit of support so you don't feel like you're rolling around too much. You can straighten that base leg out if you want to, but you might find that a little bit harder to keep control of your body movement. So having it slightly bent will provide a little bit more support on the floor. Likewise with the arm out straight. But if you want to use your hand just to rest your head against, that's also fine. So this is the leg we're going to work. We're going to be activating this muscle on the side of the hip known as glute medius. So the action is I'm going to start with the knee on the floor. So it's just tap the knee down on the floor. And then I'm going to try and straighten the leg out, lifting the knee up away from the floor. As well as taking out, I'm also trying to go back. So I'm keeping it straight, but I'm driving the heel and the whole leg backwards towards my chair. So if you wanted to do this against a wall, then you can also do it and use that as a guide so your heel can come back behind you and touch the wall behind you. That also helps then provide a little bit of support as well, so you can do that if you wish. Right, so we're going to do 3 on each side for this one. So when you're ready, make sure you start off in the right position with the knee on the floor, and then from there we're going to start to lift that knee up, straighten the leg out. So we're taking the foot away from you and also take it back behind you. That's where you should feel this muscle activate here. I can feel that already. And then return it slowly back down so the knee comes down to tap the floor. So that's 1. Let's do 2 more on this side before we switch. So out straight and back behind you. Feel that muscle activate. And then return it back down. That's 2. Let's do 1 more. So straighten that leg out. Once the leg's straight at the knee, push that heel back. Keeping the leg straight, feel that muscle work, and then return it back down to the floor. Good. Right, if you need to pause the video at this point so you can allow yourself time to switch over, that's fine. So I'm going to switch sides so I can do it on the opposite leg. So same start position. So I've got this base arm out straight for some support, and I've got this base leg slightly bent for a little bit of support. And then with this top leg, I'm going to then bring the knee to start off with and tap it on the floor just in front of me. So from there, We're then going to lift that leg up and back. So straighten the leg and start to take it back behind you, keeping it straight so you can feel that muscle activate, and then slowly return it back down until the knee taps on the floor. So that's 1. 2 more of these. Slow and controlled, remember, for all these exercises. That's 2. 1 more. So extend, start to take it back, straighten out the leg, heels going backwards, feel that muscle work, and then slowly return it back down. Brilliant, well done. Right, we've just got 2 more to go, and they're going to be stretches. So let's go on to that. Right, the last 2 we're going to do are stretches, and this first one is to stretch the lat muscles, or the latissimus dorsi muscles, and these are the muscles on the side of the back that can be quite tight with a neurological condition. So this is where you're going to need your pole or walking stick in this case, and you want to hold it so that your palms are facing backwards behind you. So if I'm holding the pole, my hands are about the same width as my shoulders, but the palms are facing back behind me. And that's just going to externally rotate your shoulder joint, so it will allow a bit more of a stretch for the lat muscle. So make sure you keep your arms straight for this one. Just start off with the pole or the stick just up in front of you above your chest, and then you're going to try and maintain straight arms as you then start to allow the pole to go behind the head, trying to keep those arms straight until you find a point and you'll feel a stretch on the side of the back. And then we'll hold that for a few seconds there. Try and relax your breathing while you hold the stretch, and then slowly return it back up to the start position. Okay, we're going to do 2 more of those. So we're going to do 3 of these stretches, but each one we're going to hold for 5 seconds. So take it down. This time you might find you can go a little bit further into the stretch. So see if you can reach back a bit further, keeping those arms straight. Feel the stretch on the sides of the back, just underneath the armpit. A few seconds, and then return it back up. Good, let's try 1 more of those. So again, make sure you keep those arms straight. Let it go back behind you. See if you can go a little bit further into the stretch this time. Hold it there for a few seconds. Good, and then slowly return it back up. Brilliant. Okay, let's go on to the final stretch. Right, the last exercise is another stretch, and we're going to be externally rotating the shoulder so we can stretch a lot of the internal rotators across the chest here that get tight with neurological conditions. So you're going to keep hold of your pole or your stick. I'm going to hold on to the one that I'm stretching. I'm going to use the handle on the end because that would just facilitate the stretch a little bit easier. And then with my other hand, I'm just going to hold on to the end of the stick here. That's going to then be used to try and push the other hand down towards the floor to externally rotate the shoulder. So to start off with, I want my elbow out to the side, so my elbow's about just slightly lower than shoulder height. And then from there, I'm going to use this end of the stick to push the handle end and my hand down towards the floor. So now I'm externally rotating the shoulder, and it's just finding that point until you feel a stretch across the front of the shoulder, and you're going to hold it there for about 5 seconds. Might feel a little bit uncomfortable, that one, and then release it off. And let's do the same again. So we're pushing that hand down towards the floor, opening that shoulder up, and then release off. Good, let's do that 1 more time. So pushing the hand down towards the floor, so the back of the hand should be going close to the floor. Hold it for a bit and relax. Excellent. Right, let's switch over and do the same on the other side. So I'm going to switch the stick over. Let's move this way a little bit. So again, this end is the one that I'm using to push the hand down towards the floor. So I'm going to start off with the elbow out to the side, and then from there I'm going to use the other end to push down. So I'm trying to get the back of my hand down towards the floor until I can feel a stretch. Hold it for a few seconds and then release off. Then same again, so I'm using this left hand to push my right hand down towards the floor to externally rotate the shoulder. If you can get the back of your hand down on the floor, then you can also then try and lift the elbow up at the same time. That'll be just as hard and create more of a stretch if you're that flexible. So one more. So pushing the back of the hand down towards the floor, feel the stretch and then hold it. And release off, good. And that completes your 9 exercises. Well done, and I hope you found some of those exercises helped you today. If you enjoyed the routine, please give it a like by clicking the thumbs up button below to help this channel grow so more people can benefit from it. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to stay active, keep moving, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video today, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click here to subscribe to this channel or click here to watch a recent video. See you soon.